The Hockey Card Haven has returned on today's show. I'll fill you in on the hiatus and what to expect from us moving forward. And it's a big week in the hobby. Extended is releasing, so we'll dive into that product and more on today's edition of the Hockey Card Haven podcast. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome. This is episode 42. It's been a long while since we've gotten to episode 42, bit of a stretch from episode 41, but we are back with another edition of the Hockey Card Haven podcast with myself, Mike DiStefano. You'll notice something a little different. Anthony is not with me today. Doesn't mean Anthony will not be returning to the podcast. We will continue onward with the Hockey Card Haven. I've met with a lot of, loyal listeners. We've gotten a couple messages from people online asking us, where's the podcast at? Where has it been? Someone thought we weren't uploading to iTunes or to Spotify anymore. But no, we took a break from the podcast. It's mainly, I'll put that onus on me. I needed to take a break. My life was getting a little crazy and chaotic for me. My Wednesdays were super busy and just based on my schedule, I had a new schedule kind of changed. Things changed for me in the new year. And Anthony and I, it was tough for us to get on the same page a lot to get episodes recorded. And I needed to take a break. I was going on vacation. I decided, okay, we'll take a break for a couple of weeks. And then when I got back, it just kind of kept getting pushed and pushed. And then, here we are, months later, and we haven't put out a show. So my apologies to the hockey card community who, I thought we built a pretty good community over the course of the last year. It was just over a year ago. It was last April we put out our first episode, and we put out 41 of these bad boys. So it was 41 weeks, I guess, straight. We put out an episode every Wednesday. And my apologies for taking the time off, but life gets busy sometimes. The cards being stolen from me, if I'm being completely honest, did also play a factor into it. I lost my love for the hobby for a little bit, and I needed to re-find it. And I would say I kind of refound it around Expo, the springtime Expo. And, I got back into the buying mode, the wheeling and dealing and flipping and collecting, finding things that I like. And I find that I'm in a better place now, headspace now for the hobby than I was, back in February, March, and leading into April. And here we are at the end of May, and I'm in a much better spot. I'm vending again. I'm setting up at shows. I'm attending shows on a weekly basis. I'm, very, very active on marketplace. I've started to move some stuff online again. So I think I'm in a to the hobby in a way, and revive the Hockey Card Haven podcast. And again, I this isn't just going to be a solo show with me every week. Anthony, the podcast week, but because of my schedule, it's sometimes easier for me to pop on and do some things when I have some off time throughout the night where most people are asleep. I'm on an opposite schedule of most, so it's easier sometimes for me to pop out my own episodes sometimes. But I'm going to try and throughout the week record interviews with people to place into these podcasts, have conversations. Anthony will still very much be a part of it. We'll get our other good buddy who's been more so in the background. Maybe you've heard us refer to him, but our buddy Brandon, aka Al's cousin, I think is going to take on more of a face presence on the show moving forward as well. So there'll be a rotation of guests joining me. And again, Anthony won't be going anywhere. He'll be along for the ride as well. Just adding more voices, I guess, to the podcast. And I think that's great. More voices, more thought and podcast realm when it comes to hockey cards. So I think that's a bonus to the listeners and the viewers, you guys, whether you're watching on YouTube, you're listening on Spotify or iTunes. That's what I'm hoping to bring to this podcast. So moving forward, there's going to be a weekly show. We're going to get back to giving you one po- expanding and doing a little bit more. There's going to be, episodes. We have one-on-one interviews with store owners, with influencers. We're going to have mail days. There'll be kind of rant content. I don't know if any of you guys are viewers or listeners of a YouTube channel. It's Rudy from Alpha Investments, and from time to time I'll take a peek at his videos. He's more so in the TCG realm, sports card realm, but I think that a lot of what he says applies, and it's really just it's a chance for him to talk about where the market is at, the health, the growth, and what's going on. It's a chance for him just to go on a rant about, whatever is happening at the time within the market. And I think that this is a good place where I could do that because look, I from time to time I've got opinions. I work in radio, like that's where I come from. I've got opinions. I want to hop on a mic and talk for hours. So sometimes I randomly will come across something that'll kind of grind my gears, and I want to talk about it. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to roll the camera and I'll hop on here and I'll start recording. It may be just myself. Maybe I'll see if one of the guys want to hop on and bounce back off of me if they have the time to do it. But it just allows me to have a little bit more flexibility, but it does guarantee more content. And that's ultimately what I want to make sure that I'm doing. I think the hockey card hobby has really exploded over the course of the last couple of years. And look, the Hockey Card Gong Show, I love the guys over there. I think they're doing a tremendous job. I'm a weekly listener, twice a week, every episode. I'm tuning in. So they're doing a great job. This isn't me trying to compete with them. It's me trying to grow the hobby with them and provide, alternative listens along with them, right? Keep both of us in the rotation, and we'll try and all grow the hobby as much as we can. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking I want to do moving forward. I'm in a better place now where I'm just able to do some of that stuff, and I'm happy to be back at the end of the day. But enough of that sappiness, I suppose. You guys came to listen to me talk about the hobby and what's going on. Obviously, it's been a long while, so I'm not going to dive, over what happened in the last little bit because there's a lot going on right now in the hobby, and that's what's so great about hockey cards and about this market. It's so much about what's happening in the now, and Thursday of this week, and whether or not this gets posted on Wednesday or Thursday potentially, we're gonna have extended released on Thursday, and that's part 3 of the flagship series, right? Series 1 came out in November, Series 2 ended up coming out in March, April-ish, and then now we've got the third part of flagship with Upper Deck Extended being released, and that's where we're going to find the Young Guns chase of the leftovers, I suppose, of who did not get a Young Guns in the first 2 series. So we'll definitely go over the checklist today, what the chase cards are going to be. There's a massive chase for some buybacks of Alex Ovechkin Young Guns. Like legitimately, these are cards that were printed in 2005 that were put inside Series 2 packs back in 05-06. They were ripped open by somebody, and then Upper Deck did a buyback where they bought back 8 of those cards that had Alex Ovechkin sign them, 8 of them, and they signed them great 8. And they did that after he had scored goal number 895, and they announced that this was going to be part of the extended series as a big chase. So 8 lucky people will get this card. It's a buyback. It's a true rookie of Alex Ovechkin, and it's going to be signed too. So that's a big major chase that will be on the lookout for once extended drops on Thursdays. But obviously it's extended, which means it's flagship, which means that we're looking for the Young Guns. And there's 3 Young Guns. Technically, so there's going to be 6 hits. You're either going to get a Young Guns or a first round rookies. Now, I'm not a fan of the first round rookies. There's really no market for those outside of set collectors. I'm not sure a lot of people are really looking for those like they're the Young Guns. So it's a little upsetting that you're not guaranteed 6 like you are in series 1 and 2, and that's mainly because there's only what a 30-player checklist I want to say for extended. So it's really unfortunate that you're only guaranteed 3 young guns per hobby box now because of this. But it makes them a little bit harder to obtain, I suppose. The main chase young guns that are going to be available for you today when you rip into that extended, you're going to be looking for Will Smith. He was the young guns, the rookie for the San Jose Sharks alongside Macklin Celebrini. So he's definitely the top chase young gun. You'll have Jonathan Lekaramaki, who is a young guns rookie for the Vancouver Canucks. That's one other player that I would say is considered among the better chases in this product. And then a little bit of a step down, Jacob Dobish, a goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens, Sebastian Cossa, Detroit Red Wings goalie. It's not a very strong young guns class, I will admit to that. But I don't think extended is all about the young guns, luckily. I mean, yes, you're obviously chasing them. They are, the pinnacle rookie card of hockey. And you want to get the Will Smith. And technically, you're going to get your Macklin Celebrini and Matvei Michkov, canvas young guns in this set. Their canvas cards are within extended. But there's just so much more to extended than the young guns chase. Like you'll be able to get the young guns acetates in extended. So you'll be able to get acetates. I thought I saw on the checklist too that the 23-24, there's some update acetates in there as well. So you're not just getting this year's acetate cards. There's also a lot from last year as well that will be available within the extended for this year. But there's a lot of different things going on here, a lot of new items that are available to go out and get some new things. And one of the ones that I think is pretty cool that is outside of the obvious chase. I mean, one, the great eight of Alex Ovechkin, that is one, obviously. But the other one that I think is pretty cool, there's a new insert called Oracles. And I'm trying to pull it up here. I pulled up last year's version. That's not really going to help me a whole lot now, is it? But Oracles, which they kind of look like tarot cards. If you guys are familiar with what a tarot card looks like, like what the what do they call those, psychics, I think. Yeah, psychics, whatever the hell that they use to try and read your future. That's kind of what this card looks like, and I've pulled it up here now, so you should be able to see it. Yes, there it is right there. So you can see it kind of looks like a tarot card in a way. And these are going to be inserted one in every 8 packs. So you're guaranteed to get one in every hobby box. But then there are the rookie Oracle, which are considered short prints and super short print case hits. And the short prints are the rookies, as I said. So those ones are going to be far less likely to get. So if you get a Lane Hudson, you get a Macklin Celebrini or a Matvei Michkov, all 3 of those players available in this insert set, it is considered a short print. So, good for you if you pull that. There's not a whole lot of them out there. So they're not going to be numbered, but just know that they are going to be short printed. There'll be triple dimensions as well. I guess I could just continue to go down the checklist here. These are kind of what some of the other inserts are going to look like, but this is the triple dimensions. And these are going to be one every 6 packs, and there will be ones that are ruby. Those will be numbered to 500. There'll be ones numbered to 300, 100, golds to 50, and then sapphires will be parallels, which is what this one is, where it's numbered to 10. So this one's a Logan Stankoven numbered to 10. So this one, again, a rookie insert that is that'll be numbered. So there's another chase that people could be looking for. I think they look kind of cool, I guess. It's kind of basic looking. Silver Skates return, so we've seen those before. That's kind of a yearly staple within the extended series, and that's what you're pretty much going to be looking for. These are what the Dazzles look like, the Macklin Celebrini canvas right here, and obviously you're chasing those parallels as well. For the Outburst, the Clear Cuts, Deluxes, Exclusives, Outburst Red, your High Gloss, and then, of course, the Outburst Gold 1 of 1. Now, what I will also say is that it appears that we have an update on what the renewed Young Guns is going to look like, the renewed Young Guns Outburst. So if you recall, in Series 1, we saw a bunch of guys get a renewed outburst, and I think Connor McDavid kind of headlined the list there. Stutzla was also one, Claude Giroux, if I'm not mistaken, and then who else was part of that year? I think Suzuki and Patrice Bergeron rounded out the five players who had a outburst of the renewed Young Guns. This year, the checklist for that is as follows. It is going to be, and I had it written down here. Where did it go? There. So Mitch Marner is going to get one. Evgeny Malkin, Quentin Byfield, Dylan Larkin, and then Eric Carlson. So all those players are going to be getting one. And this is what the Quentin Byfield one is going to look like. So I'm showing it now for those who are on YouTube. You can take a peek at it. So this is what it's going to look like. The Quentin Byfield Young Guns Ruby. So the outburst number 225. Then obviously there'll be a silver one that's not numbered but short printed, and then a gold 1/1 as well. So again, just 5 players that are not this year's rookie class that will be given a renewed Young Guns outburst, and that will be a major chase once again within the extended release. And so that's pretty much what the big chase card's going to be. Bradwell's going to want to try and get those 8 Ovechkin rookie buyback autos. That's what the main chase is going to be, and I would imagine there'll be quite the frenzy when these boxes hit the store shelves on Thursday. Everyone's going to be ripping in. There'll be a lot of breaks of people trying to get Washington, who I'd imagine will be a very expensive one to have. I'll be curious. I haven't looked into any breaks, but I'm curious if which one would be more expensive, Washington or San Jose, strictly because you can get Will Smith and Celebrini if you're Washington, or for San Jose, and you get all of those hits. But that Ovi buyback, I mean, that's the one you want. That there's only 8 of them in the world. It's a true rookie. It's autographed, hand signed. It's and it commemorates his goal scoring record when he hit 895. So I haven't seen any bounties, but I'm curious if on the morning of release, if we see some bounties start to come out for what people will be willing to pay for those cards. Because man, that's going to be one heck of a chase, and probably the biggest chase in this set. So again, I know it's flagship, and typically the Young Guns are what you want out of it. And granted, you still want to get, your Will Smith and your Lekaramaki and your Dobish Young Guns. You want to get your canvas of Celebrini and Michkov. You've got those acetate Young Guns as well that are super short printed that you're going to want to chase and grab. But I still think that this Ovi card is going to be the one that people are going to want to get. So best of luck to anyone ripping and opening up some extended series. I'd love to know if anyone is any of the lucky 8 to get one of the great 8 rookie cards that are out there. It's going to be a hell of a chase. That's for sure. Okay. Moving on to the next topic of conversation. And, so this is interesting. I don't know how many people really got this information. So I'm going to try and find this story here so I can, there are some quotes about it, but essentially Upper Deck is trying to be a little innovative. And I guess this isn't something that I necessarily have really had major issues with, but I guess patch swapping has become a problem within the hobby. And you guys let me know if it's something that you've been, concerned about. But apparently Upper Deck has gotten word that there's some concerns about patch swapping, which essentially means that there are people out there that are opening up these cards very carefully, taking out what are deemed to be poor patches, just maybe jersey swatches, and putting basically manufactured patches in there, or patches from other players that are lesser. So for example, if you open up a Connor Bedard, right, like it's 23-24 the cup that's coming out in a week or two. You open up a Bedard, you've like the $1,000 card, like you're looking at 4 figures for a cup Bedard RPA. But there's a difference. Is it a 4 color? Is there multiple breaks in the color with it? Do you have the feathers of the Bedard? Right? So there's multiple factors that will come into it. And essentially, what they're finding is there may be some people who are doctoring up some cards and placing in either false, fake patches, or they're getting them from other players. So let's say you have, so I personally have an Adam Clendenning patch RPA from years ago. It's from Fleer Showcase. Let's say I take that patch out of it, right? It's a card that's not worth a whole lot, maybe worth $5 now at this point. Let's say I rip the card open, I take the patch, and then I carefully place it inside of the Connor Bedard card and find a way to close it up and make it look as though, it was never tampered with. Supposedly that's happening, and the Cup and Upper Deck are coming up with ways to try and essentially combat that from happening. And what they've decided to do is they've decided that they're going to start encapsulating some of their cards and some of their big ticket RPAs, such as the Connor Bedard card. And this is kind of what we're talking about. I'm going to pull up a photo of what it looks like right now. So here it is. Upper Deck introduced new security measures to combat trading card patch swapping in NHL set. And you can see here, this is a great patch, right? This is Connor Bedard's patch. And you can see it. It's awesome. It's great. Good autograph, right? It's low pop, number to 99, as are all the good star chase rookies with their RPA. But you can see up here in the top corner here, and I'll kind of show you. You can kind of see it, but up here, there's like a QR code. So what you're going to essentially to be able to do is you're going to be able to basically scan that QR code and it's going to populate an image of what that card should look like. And it'll have all the details and a photo. So this one specifically, right? This is card 99 out of 99, right? So if you were to see this in public, you should be able, or if you open it yourself, but if you're in public and you're not sure, okay, is this legitimately patch that it's supposed to be? Or was this one doctored and manufactured? You will be able to now scan that QR code and it will populate some sort of report and it will show you exactly what the card is supposed to look like, from the autograph to the number to like this exact photo essentially will pop up on online for you, and you'll be able to see and match it up. Okay, this has not been doctored. This is exactly what it is supposed to look like. I now feel comfortable in purchasing this card knowing its authenticity. That is what essentially they're trying to do here. And I respect it. I think that it's a smart play. It's a smart plan for them to do. I'm not as convinced that it was as big as an issue to put a lot of resources to doing this. But like encapsulating your cards to me is a very interesting proposition, because there's a lot of people out there that don't like their cards encapsulated. I'm one of them. I'm not a graded card guy. Like my personal collection, I love when it's in a one touch. I don't like it when it's in a graded PSA or BGS or tag or whatever. Insert grading company here. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer it to be raw in a one touch, and that's what I like in my collection. Now you're going to look and these things are all going to be encapsulated. Not all, but like the cup specifically, their high-end brand, are now encapsulating these products and these cards. And I'm not sure I love it, right? I'm not sure I love the look of it. In practice and in theory, it makes sense. But when I'm looking at it, I don't know. For me, again, I'll pull it up one more time. When I'm taking a peek at this, it's just, oh, it looks like an old PSA holder or an old vintage Beckett holder, and I just don't like it. I don't want it to be encapsulated, and visually, I'm turned off by it. But I do understand the want for Upper Deck to ensure its collectors, first and foremost, and its customers ultimately, that what they are buying is what they are supposed to be getting, and that's essentially what this is expected to do. So, yeah, I'm very curious to see how everyone else feels about this. Again, I wasn't too sure that this was necessarily a massive issue in the hobby. I know I've heard of it happening, but I've personally never, thought about that being a problem. But apparently it is, and they've experienced this challenge for years now, is what was quoted in this article that I had here through the Athletic. You can go check it out yourself, and just a reminder that the cup is going to be released on June 4th. Now, I will show you one example of what exactly I'm talking about, and something that happened. And this was the example that was cited in the article that I'm reading. And again, this wasn't necessarily a hockey thing. I believe the problem that they referred to, yeah, it was in baseball. So it was a tops problem, but obviously this is Upper Deck trying to get ahead of it. So here's the issue here. You can clearly see there is a big time difference. And when you're taking a peek, you can see the card on the left is not a patch at all. It's just a white blank, piece of the jersey, just a piece of the fabric. But it's a rookie. It's a Paul Skeens card, number 2 to 49, and it's just kind of blank. It doesn't have much eye appeal to it. Then you look at the one on the left, and you see a big fat P, the Pirates P, in that jersey patch window. And obviously, that's not supposed to be there. And when you look at the certain number, I suppose, the raw certain number, it clearly shows that it's not supposed to be there. And that's a manufactured, altered card of Paul Skeens. And look, Paul Skeens is a very expensive player right now in the baseball hobby. Paul Skeens was our Connor Bedard last year, our current Macklin Celebrini, Lane Hudson. Like, he's that talented of a player and a rookie last year. And for someone to do that, they increased the value by a lot, a crap ton. And you're not getting a real card, right? Like, on the back, it says this card is guaranteed authenticity to be a real patch, game used, player worn, whatever it may be. But in fact, it wasn't. It was not. Somebody doctored and altered the card to make it look better than it was. And I'm sure they got a pretty penny for it based on that patch compared to the one on the right of just the plain white jersey swatch. So that is the thought process behind what they're doing. Whether you like it or not, I'd love to hear your comments down below. Again, my preference is to not have them encapsulated. It also does kind of present an interesting conundrum when it comes to grading. Like, a lot of people grade these cards when they're already encapsulated. That's what kind of gives you the authenticity. Now, all of a sudden, if they're no longer in that case and you crack it open to set it for grading, or if you crack it open just to sell in general, or it comes back a bad grade, you try and crack it for whatever reason, if you crack it out of that case, now there's going to be questions about that card, and you just don't want that either. So it's kind of interesting. It's going to create a conundrum for people of whether or not they want to grade these cards or not moving forward, just simply because now you have to take it out of this case. And you can also look to current examples like Clear Cut that do already come in prepackaged one touches, and they've got that seal on it, that Upper Deck seal. And a lot of people do not want to see that seal broken. They want to buy it with that seal on, knowing that that card has not been altered or hasn't been sent in for grading and received a poor grade of any kind. They want to make sure that they're buying it just as it came from the manufacturer, right? From it came out from Upper Deck. And that's what people are going to want also from the cup. And now with this encapsulation, unless it's still in the case, there's going to be questions that are going to arise. So that was a really interesting thing that Upper Deck has decided to do going into the cup this year, which comes out on June 4th. That's the release date for the cup, June 4th. Okay. So I'll probably end this podcast here. I wanted to make sure I got on and got a couple of things off my chest. That one that I just got into about this big innovation with the cup is kind of something I wanted to talk about and get my thoughts on it. Want to get your thoughts on it too. Let me know in the comment section down below, or reach out to me on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck and let me know your thoughts of whether or not you think this is a good thing, a proactive thing, or is this maybe upper deck overstepping a little bit when it comes to the hobby and people's preference of how they like their cards to be displayed. So let me know. I'd love to. I had another rant that I was going to get into, but it's just I can get into it on another show. I kind of want someone to be with me for it, to bounce off of it. But basically, it has something to do with me having an issue with the Beckett book, the Bible for the old geezers in the hobby. Unfortunately, that still refer to the book as the Bible, and there's zero credibility in that thing. And on next week's show, I will be going in depth as to what I mean by that to back up my thesis in that statement there. So tune in next week for that podcast. Hopefully, I'll have somebody with me to bounce that off of. But again, just a reminder, we're back to weekly shows for the Hockey Card Haven podcast. You can find us free and available on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify as well. And there'll be more content than just the one weekly episode coming out on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed. We'll be doing some mail days. We'll do some, shorter form content, possibly some buying POVs, really just try and build up the channel. And the best way to do that too is to get to get that follower increase and make sure that you guys are enjoying it. So let us know. What do you want to see? What do you want to see from this channel? Let us know down below. All right, that is going to do it for me here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. Welcome back. If you are a longtime listener waiting for us to return, thank you for making it this far into the podcast. If you are new to the show and you're just getting things rolling here with Hockey Card Haven, welcome. Thank you. Give us a shot weekly here on the show. Hopefully we can entertain you and give you that fix of hockey card news and chatter that you'll be looking for. Again, eventually we do plan to branch out a little bit more and continue to build up this podcast. But until then, I will be back next week with another episode of the Hockey Card Haven podcast.